series record after going down 3-1, but the one is the most famous 3-1 comeback in NBA history, the 2016 finals. Luka Doncic, he spoke yesterday afternoon.
You definitely should treat it like Game 7. You lose, you go home. No matter what, you can't be looking in the future. So we got to focus on this game, and then from there go on. Confidence is a big part of it. Like I said, we got to treat it as Game 7, and we got to stay together.
Dave McMenamin, our reporter covering the Lakers, joins us now. Dave, we just heard that Luka says that he is confident, even though he knows the history of what happens when you go down 3-1. Where is he drawing that from?
Malik, he's confident because he thinks back to Game 4 in that third quarter, and the Lakers played their best 12 minutes of the series on both ends of the basketball court. They outscored the Wolves 36-23. They shot an efficient 59%. They held the Wolves to under 40% shooting, and Luka said, looking at the tape, you can see his teammates flying around defensively and playing for one another offensively, and he said to do that in a situation where you're on the road, you're down at halftime, you obviously you need to make a dent in the series. That gives him confidence that he can do that at home with his group, with the home crowd behind them. And again, that group that did it was Dorian Finney-Smith with the Lakers' 4 regular starters. I asked J.J. Redick at practice on Tuesday, are we going to see the same group to start Game 5 that we saw end Game 4? And he said TBD. But all the talk is how good they were in the third quarter of that game. You'd think you'll see a lot of Dorian Finney-Smith tonight in place of Jackson Hayes.
Dave, thank you so much. We'll see you a little bit later at the game. And played down the stretch of that game, that may be an understatement. J.J. Redick went with the same 5 players for the entire second half in Game 4. And it seemed like that took a little bit of a toll on the Lakers down the stretch. They were outscored 32-19 in that fourth quarter here. So bringing back in Kendrick Perkins as well. Perk, what do you want to see the Lakers do a little bit differently tonight?
As expected and confirmed by my brother Dave McMenamin, the Lakers are only worried about the offense. McMenamin, the Lakers are only worried about the offensive end. That's it. They're only worried about the offensive end. It's two sides of the basketball, right? Because if you was worried about the defensive side of things, then you would know how hard it is to go up in the trenches and battle with big folks like LeBron James is having to do with Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert and Naz Reid and somewhat Jay McDaniels, right? It takes a toll on you. That's the reason LeBron James only had 2 shots in the fourth quarter. He was tired. Yeah. How about using Jared Vanderbilt to apply some of that same pressure on Anthony Edwards, because he wasn't tired the last 24 minutes. He actually elevated his game. So again, use your bench. Use Gabe Vincent, who Eric Spoelstra used when they made a finals run when he was with the Miami Heat. You got to think about the other side of the basketball floor. Look at LeBron James. Look at Rui. All are holding their knees. They're dead tired. You got to find spot minutes for these guys to get some rest, especially going against a physical, athletic team like the Minnesota Timberwolves.
You know what's funny, Perk, besides you saying Dave McMenamin?
What's funny?
And,
did I mess up?
I would personally prefer Dave McMaximum.
I messed it up.
No, you're good. You're good.
Dave M.
Okay, so you know how you showed like the clip of like, you know, when you're tired, coaches always tell you the last thing you want to do is put your hands on your knees like that, because it signals to your opponents that, hey, we've got you where we want you. Yeah. But here's the good news, right? The Lakers have 2 of the all-time best leading scorers when it comes to postseason backs against the wall in elimination, in Luka and LeBron. Here's the bad news. Amongst the remaining playoff teams, they have absolutely the worst defense. So, Perk, even though the way you say names is wrong, your point was right on the defense. Look, the issue here is the reason why I think LeBron James had a little bit of slippage and Luka was not as effective late was because of what they're asked to do defensively. Now, Luka's a whole different beast, but for LeBron, he has been asked to guard centers. I remember a time a couple months ago, Wendy was like, oh, that's never going to happen. Well, we are here in that day and age where LeBron is being taxed. And defensively, I think JJ has to find different schemes. You have to find ways to disrupt the flow that Ant has and Jaden McDaniels has and Naz Reid have, because if you show them zones, if you show them traps, like, then at least you can create a little bit of chaos, and that chaos can allow your guys to have a better chance.
Luka, LeBron at home facing elimination. I don't know that there is a more motivated. We talk about Giannis, for example, how potent he becomes in that sort of situation. add Luka and LeBron together, and that gets even scarier for their opponent here, Brian. It's also going to be on Anthony Edwards. You heard him. He came into the series saying no one is picking us. Having that motivation versus now being the team that has to not let go of the rope here, it's going to be an interesting balance.
Yeah, Luka and LeBron at home, where they've been great, on 2 days rest, which is vitally important here, and that could play a significant role. Remember, that game on Sunday was like 38 hours after they had finished Game 3. Look, this series has been about the fourth quarter. The Lakers have outscored the Wolves by 8 points over the first 4 games in the first 3 quarters. Then look at that number, minus 36 in the fourth. And if you peel that back one more layer, the Lakers have been outscored in the paint in the fourth quarter by 22 points. The majority of that is in the paint. A lot of that is Ant Edwards driving into the paint. So this is what happens when you play small and you play shallow. You're going to get tired, and your lack of size is going to show up. So look, JJ Redick can't invent a center that he trusts. He clearly doesn't have that. What needs to happen tonight, and for this series to go the Lakers' way, is LeBron-Luka and especially Austin Reeves, who's been below his standard, have to be great. They have the capability to do it. They got the 3 seed because the 3 of them played so well together. If that all comes together at home tonight, they can send this series back to Minnesota.
Lakers, Timberwolves, Game 5, that's tonight. The Pistons, they're just trying to bapa.
Stay alive.
Exactly. Fight to live another day. Coming into Madison Square Garden, hoping to keep their season alive here. Cade Cunningham took that as his personal mission.
He is a smooth criminal. You cannot speed him up. He plays at his tempo. That's why I say the motorcade is always in cruise control.
See, now, Sinead, you're going to get me in trouble. I want to start singing Smooth Operator. But right here, Jalen Brunson comes up a little bit hobbled on this play. That right ankle, it's the same ankle he was rehabbing at the end of the regular season. Yeah, looks to just land a little awkwardly. He stayed in the game for a little bit, but then he headed back to the locker room. And then here, this is a huge 3. This is why you go get Karl-Anthony Towns.
It seems like he turns up as the game matters most. Again, 42% from 3. He's the best shooting big name.
And then Jalen Brunson back in the game after that injury. Cade Cunningham drives, but now it's Josh Hart who lands home.
I mean, this is the NBA's overall, not just one series, has been extremely physical, but Detroit, they have responded to everything the Knicks have thrown at them.
He headed back to the locker room, and it would be costly in more ways than one, because 2 minutes left here on the floor.
The sideline.
Cade Cunningham gets this one to go. But yes, to your point, it is Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart who are making their way to the scorer's table. At 2 minutes to go, they didn't enter until 27 seconds left.
The longest 2 minutes in all of New Yorkers' lives, watching those guys watch the end of the game in this possession.
Cade Cunningham sizing up OG Anunoby.
Scouting reports don't matter. This is one-on-one. This is street hoops. And just having the awareness, again, when he's cooking, he's able to also drop dimes. He had 8 on the night.
And it's Detroit who gets the win. Here's JB Bickerstaff on the mindset being down 3-2.
The focus is just the game that's in front of us. And I do believe, like, why we've been able to grow the way that we've grown is because that's the mentality we've had. It's not going to be easy, but we got an opportunity to go home, play in a Game 6, and, in front of our crowd, which I know will be awesome.
How confident are you that you'll get back here for Game 7?
Confident we'll be back.
All right, we'll be back. That sounds like a job for a percentage chance. Perk, what is the percentage chance that the Pistons, that is a tongue twister, come back to tie this series against the Knicks?
0. No way in hell they can get this series. And listen, you're telling me the New York big body Brunson, who's the best player in this series, got 2 games to get 1 with a Game 7 if it goes to a Game 7 on.
Perk's so hyped that he's freezing. 0% chance, he says. All right. Well, let's check in on the reigning champs who sent a message last night.
Tao bình thường đấy. Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ dùng hạt vòng màu xanh và dây sọ để hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng nhé.
Anh chị đi đâu? Ra.
Đi được chứ nhỉ?
Vừa học xong khu kia.
Rồi nói chuyện tiếng gì với nhau.
Cứ mà thì bao giờ mới công khai?
Cứ vô vô tại sao? Không cần công khai.
Mình cứ mà bảo nó gì?
Lọ hết. Chí mật nhỉ. Không rõ ràng mà không sợ làm mất nhau. Tại đấy à? Pin. Chờ đấy là chờ đấy không thích. Đúng không?
Anh.
Ai mà lên đây? Em chọn vị trí đi.
Chị cứ nói nhưng mà thì nói đại của thằng nào đấy này.